You are going to learn everything there is to know about TikTok Shop, content policy as a TikTok Shop creator, as an affiliate. This is going to be extremely valuable if you have gotten violations before, if you don't understand the violation system, if you really just want to know the ins and outs and avoid getting violations and avoid these things for the future. This is the video for you. I'm going to be covering everything in this. I will briefly go off on these other sub articles and cover them briefly because I don't want to get bogged down in that, but I'm going to go over the main things to avoid 99.9% of all your violations. Okay, I will go into much more detail in my free community that'll be linked in the description, but for this video, this will be a great overview and will help you tremendously if you're just getting going or if you're an experienced creator and you don't yet understand these violations in its entirety. Okay. So this was posted at the very end. Actually, this was from today, August 30th, 2024. Perfect. So this is very, very new. This will probably be the case throughout the rest of this year, maybe even into 2025. So this will be timely. And I've gotten tons of questions about this, so I wanted to cover this for you guys. Okay, perfect. First, let's get into this. So purpose and scope. So what this essentially means is that this is not a legal binding document. This is just the rules of TikTok Shop. So this isn't like the rules of law for the United States, but this will help you when navigating their own internal rule system. You know, when they hand out these violations and you're appealing them, it feels like you're in your own mini court system where you have to appeal your case and whatnot. And that's what this covers. All right, so they'll update the policy periodically. I always am abreast of what's going on. I'm checking this very often, and I'm updating my community and the public about these changes. So, yeah, let's get into the compliance about this. So, when it comes to policy statements, all TikTok Shop creators are required to comply with this policy. All content uploaded to TikTok Shop must follow this TikTok Shop content policy. Cover pages, titles, hyperlinks, anchor links, descriptions, character speeches, clothing, behaviors, voice, mic setups, nicknames, personal introductions, images, and other features are also subject. So anything you put into a TikTok, even your name, even your bio, I mean, literally anything that can be associated with your TikTok creator account, especially when you're coming, you know, it's tagging products as an affiliate, it all applies. All these rules apply, all right? It says the following is a non-exhaustive list of content categories that are prohibited. So let's get in the first category. These are auctions. So what is an auction? I have it open here. Auctions. Auctions and price manipulation. So auctions are competitive bidding processes for buying and selling items. Potential customers, also known as bidders, so people, your audience watching the video, submit bids for them, often in ascending order. The bidder who offers the highest price is awarded the item. The following are examples of other types of auction behaviors: offering or soliciting bids, right? So directly asking users, hey, you know, let's submit a price on this. A lot of the times you'll only see this in TikTok Shop Lives, but it's worth covering because people might say this accidentally, trying to hook people in during their recorded video. Rapid bidding. So yeah, like think about the fast people. Like, can we get a 1? Can we get a 1 on 3? You know, the people that do the bidding as speakers. You don't ever really want to do that. It's just going to immediately flag the system, especially in the short time frame. Swiftly and frequently place bids in a fast-paced auction process. Bidding timing or timed bidding, setting a countdown. Yeah, so you don't want to be setting any countdowns. You know, like look at this. It doesn't. You don't ever want to have something like this, like opening the bid or putting a timer. I know that you're probably thinking, well, we're not sellers, so we wouldn't be doing this as creators. But you'd be surprised. There are a lot of creators that they want to use these psychological tricks to try to get people to buy now. So an auction will look like a countdown timer, right? If there's a bidding window or a time frame, even if you just have something in your video that looks like a timer counting down, that could be mistaken as an auction, and I would avoid that. The creator sets a timer, a limit of 5 on the number of bids allowed. So yeah, you don't want to be saying like, even saying things like there's only 5 left, get it while you can. That could potentially trigger something. But you never want to be saying things like bidding, you know, or whoever submits the highest amount, you know, whoever pays the most is going to get it now. Like, it's just stay away from that. Creator promotes a product through a live auction. So anybody that's, you know, saying, yeah, the starting price here is, you know, that is a big, big no-no. How do you avoid it? Yeah, just fixed pricing. This is more for sellers. Don't ever use these words: bid, auction, price starts from. A lot of you are going to say, oh, the price is starting at. No, don't ever say that, okay? Open price. You know, these are bidding terms. These are terms you might use on eBay or other auctions. Never use these words, especially if you come from a background of selling in these auction-like manners. That might come naturally to you. It might be second nature. Avoid that on TikTok Shop as an affiliate creator. Never promote an auction on a third-party platform. In fact, as a general rule of thumb, as a creator, you should never be trying to drive traffic to other platforms. There is some exceptions when it comes to Amazon, but what I always say is, if you really want the big money, as a creator, and you want these big commissions, a lot of that's going to be within the TikTok Shop app, right? You're going to be selling it, or you're going to be a creator for a TikTok Shop affiliate, a product as a TikTok Shop affiliate, and all the sales generated in the TikTok app, you're going to get paid out right directly in that commission. That's where really the biggest money is. So I went through in my last video what happens when you violate stuff. All right, so let's move on. Comparisons. This is where you got to be careful. A lot of you guys like to do comparisons because it seems natural, right? To compare and contrast, but creators are prohibited from promoting any content that contains unsupported comparisons intended to disparage or denigrate other products, brands, or e-commerce sites. This includes, but is not limited to, using derogatory language to describe competing products, brands, or e-commerce sites. You never, just be careful here, because a lot of you guys are going to say like, oh, this other thing, this other brand, or you're going to just name drop the brand. Don't do that. In fact, it's actually better as a hook and a mechanism for people to watch, and especially comment, because they're going to be like, what did they mean by that innuendo or analogy? You want to say things like that brand that must not be named, right? Or say things that are kind of sneaky and secretive, because you want people really to engage with your video. That's what drives it in the algorithm. So by being a little furtive, being a little sneaky, will get people to comment and will get people curious. So avoid these direct call out comparisons to other brands. Exaggerated descriptions. I think a lot of people get caught up in this one, right? Creators are prohibited from promoting any product that contains exaggerated descriptions or absolute claims without related, valid, and objective proof. Yeah, saying number one product, 100% natural. This is so natural for people to want to say, because you'll see claims like this all over the internet, even on Amazon, Walmart, right? But they are strict. TikTok is this strict because they're competing against people or platforms like Walmart. They're literally in competition with them. So it's like the marijuana business, where you ever go into a marijuana shop or see it on the road and you're like, wow, it's all glass, it looks futuristic, it's so modern. The people working there are like, maybe they're a little high, but they're on their best behavior. They have to do that because in these like newer or industries that are highly regulated or not trusted yet, everybody has to be on their best behavior to win others over as the incumbents in society. That's why this is going on. Exaggerated promises. This is also super common. Creators are prohibited from promoting any content that includes exaggerated promises about the product's performance or effect, right? Get slim legs right away when you use this lotion. Don't promise some type of unrealistic thing, especially with the body. Like we're going to get into weight loss at some point. Stay away from anything that's talking about like losing weight. You'll lose weight. There's 1,000 other ways, and this is really what I go through in my community, is getting a creative spark, a way to present this product that's trustworthy, more convincing, more creative, and complies with these crazy rules, so that you're never in the red and you're like making sales, and then the video gets pulled and you're like, oh my god, I just lost all that income, right? The product removes acne in only a few days. Like, this is just exaggerated. You want to think of it as, if you ever have a product that you're making content for, unless that product, like in the laws of physics, can do something in a certain amount of time for everybody, like a timer, using a timer for like cooking eggs, right? It's going to be the same amount of time for everybody to cook the eggs. But if it's not that, if it's a subjective effect or an effect that depends on the biochemistry of a person, like acne, you just don't want to make these broad, vast claims. It's very tempting. You see a lot of this in other, things online or maybe on TV, telemarketing, but just be careful out there, okay? Especially right now when it's early days on TikTok Shop, you want to play within their lines. Showing wrinkles disappearing in before and after comparisons after using a cream. Yeah, this is totally banned on Facebook and Facebook ads. For a reason, because they just don't want these unrealistic expectations that can't even be lived up to, and you're just promoting it. It's a form of lying, and they just want to avoid that. False claims. Creators are prohibited from promoting any content that includes false product claims. Examples: false claims that a product has won awards or possesses various certifications. Never say this, especially given the fact that I've seen on the seller side products that actually do have awards and certifications, and even those products can get like banned or disabled sometimes. It is really a no-no. Like, don't ever say like this product is the best in class for physician's choice, whatever the hell. Even if it is, avoid that. Even if it is, I would avoid that like the plague. False claims that a product is affiliated with other products. Yeah, just because you have like a product that's getting, a rocket ship effect of virality and is a real winner, don't just try to hop on that bandwagon and say, oh, well, it's also associated with this, or the people that made this made that. The seller side, they're not going to like that, especially if the claim isn't 100% true. Even if it is true, they might not want that information public that they're associated. So never, have it affiliated with other products. Also, could potentially get you in trouble when it affiliates with another product, and they'll hit you with that product not present in the video violation because you were showing more than one product and it was confusing. A lot of you Amazon influencers are used to making like the best kitchen products, and you'll have like 30 videos or 30 products in one video. That's a huge no-no in this game of TikTok Shop affiliate content creation. Exaggerating promotional prices or making unsupported price comparisons. Yeah, don't mess with the price thing. Don't mess with the price thing. This was really common, especially in late 2023, where there were like fire sales. Everything was so cheap on TikTok Shop, and people were using the price as a huge selling point. Avoid that. I would just keep it general and say things like it's less expensive than it would be on Amazon. And if you know for a fact that it is, like a screenshot you could put on screen that can be defended easily, that would be something that is permissible, but with caution. But other things than that, like talking extreme prices, especially knowing these brands or sellers are just gonna like change the price, just like how they do with your commissions and our commissions. They'll change it. They'll offer a big commission, then they'll start dropping it over time once your video starts performing well. They're gonna change around these prices, and they're really trying to figure this out on the seller side. So be careful with these exaggerated promotional claims of prices. I just try to avoid it and only, delve into it if I'm saying like, hey, the TikTok Shop price is going to be more affordable than any other platform you'll find online, even the in-store prices. Keep it general, keep it light. Don't be, making these false claims. False display of information. Creators are prohibited from promoting any product that is inconsistent with the products being advertised or sold. Yeah, this is another big one. Inconsistent prices or discounts, false or misleading product demonstrations. Don't have a fake product. Like literally, it's like you're trying to represent the product, but it really isn't. False images, brand names, descriptions, key attributes, models, product guarantees or warranties, right? Imagine you're trying to sell an electric car on TikTok Shop and you're saying it's a Tesla and it's clearly it's a Chinese ripoff. It's not really a Tesla. Big no-no. Any false information regarding services such as delivery, logistics, return, refunds, and customer services. Let the sellers deal with this. Let the sellers deal with customer service, delivery, and logistics. You don't have to worry about that. You're just here as a conduit of emotional surveillance and of trust for these products. You're not here to talk about the supply chain, returns and refunds. That's not the place. It's going to get you into trouble at this stage in the game on TikTok Shop. Obviously, stay away from illegal and criminal activity, okay? Infringement of lawful rights. Don't do anything that's illegal, right? You don't want to be taking content that's using, logos or commercials or things that are like high up in the corporate, if you're doing something for like Doritos or Coca-Cola, right? And they have like a commercial for the Super Bowl. You don't want to just post that commercial, right? Like you don't want to be ripping things like that of their lawful right. Names, images, likeness of people. So the celebrity one is tough, right? Because I know when the whole assassination happened with Trump, a lot of people were selling shirts with their name on it or their face of the image of him after the shooting. I would be careful. There's a mechanism you can use for authority for hooks, but it doesn't involve using the person as an endorsement. Right, the purposes of product endorsement or merchandise without express permission, you got to be careful. But there is a way to appeal to authority and use the authority of a famous person as a nice hook on the video, something I go through in my community, but you don't want to have them like saying they're endorsing it, right? Malware. Do not mess with anything that's going to be related to malware. That should be obvious, right? You don't want to put anybody on a website that's going to get a software that's going to steal their information, right? Medical claims. This is a big one. Because a lot of supplements are going viral in the year of 2024. Content containing medical claims is restricted. Medical claims Include but are not limited to, believe me, they're extensive. You can get banged for a lot of stuff on this. Claims that a product can cure serious medical conditions that require testing, monitoring, and planned treatments supervised by experts. For example, this product cures cancer. This product prevents gum disease. This product eliminates parasites. Literally, if it sounds like something that would be in a prescription or a product from CVS, avoid just making these bold claims. It's better to be a little bit more wishy-washy and talk about how it makes you feel, or talk about results and outcomes and benefits that are less in the realm of like how it cures acne for all people or solves all, maladies. And there's ways to go about that, but you don't want to make these strong medical claims. Minor safety. God, this is big. So you never want to have yourself convincing minors to buy products, right? You wouldn't want to go to a school. Remember when the silly bands were big, right? Going to a middle school and trying to convince people to buy your products in a video. Just want to be really careful with people that look under 18 in general. Persuading minors to ask their parents, big no-no. Don't be telling these little kids, go and get mommy and daddy's credit card. It's not a good look. Any content targeting minors and giveaways, please, if you're under 18, you get this promotion today. No, big no-no. Other content that may have a negative effect on minor safety. They're really big on protecting what would you call it? The humanity of minors. So be careful about that, Other requirements in specific jurisdictions: not displaying child actors in commercial content. Creators must ensure their promotional content and products meet all relevant laws. Okay, misleading beauty filters. Yeah, I know that TikTok's getting advanced. It's got some incredible filters that are better than the ones you even have on Snapchat or Instagram, but you don't want to be using a filter on your video for beauty or something of that nature because it comes across as lying, okay? Or at least to the system of TikTok. Misleading or false content, right? This goes along kind of with everything we said about talking about products that prevent, treat, cure diseases, products renew, correct, change, regulate physiological function. You don't want to be saying, oh, this product shrinks your ears. It sounds like kind of crazy and extreme. Products have pharmacological, immunological, or metabolic effects. This is the big one, metabolic effects. Never say weight loss. I literally don't even think you should bring up the word weight. And there's better ways to talk about it, believe me. You could say, I was a size, 36 jeans my entire life since I, went to my senior prom in high school. Now I'm back at my size 30. This has never happened. Very creative way to say weight loss, It's just, you got to avoid that. You got to become a higher level creator, if you will. Products have medicinal benefits. Stay away from all the medicinal stuff, okay? Misleading traffic, spam, and fraud. Okay, so a lot of this should be self-explanatory. But it's basically, you don't want to impersonate people. You don't want to manipulate the platform. Don't try to do any of these little tactics. A lot of people are like, how do I get 5,000 followers quick? Or how do I do this? Don't do any shortcuts. Listen, shortcuts, if you're thinking in terms of shortcuts, you are never going to make those 6-figure commission months. Because the people that are doing that are not taking shortcuts. They're doing the required work, and they're studying this process as a content creator, and they're doing the long hour, not necessarily long hours, because sometimes you can make magic happen by not putting long hours into a video, but you don't want to be taking shortcuts. It's not the way to think here. Engaging in activities that deceive consumer. Don't deceive anyone. Don't promote products by inducing sympathy, right? That's an interesting one, right? Don't make it say, I see this in bios. I see this in the bios of some creators, like all affiliate commissions go for paying for my cancer treatment, right? Especially saying that in videos, that could get your product content, removed or get you violations. Promoting artificial, don't go on Fiverr and buy traffic. Don't do any of these silly hacks and gimmicks. Promoting products that claim commission sales or proceeds, getting donated. Don't do this, okay? It sounds like it's heartwarming. The platform of TikTok just sees this as manipulative, okay? Creating malicious software, don't do anything related to buying these softwares that'll promote your account. Any other attempt to direct users to non-authorized, keep it in TikTok. TikTok wants the purchases to happen in TikTok, okay? Like I said in my last video, you want this to be like TikTok is elevated. They're like the boss that you don't love, but you got to make them look like they're in good light, and that will get you the promotion and the money and the salary that you want, okay? Avoid invalid landing pages. Keep it in TikTok. Landing pages that require personal information. You don't want to do any of that. downloading files. This is just, you never want to have any of this. A lot of this should be self-explanatory. Prohibited products, right? This you probably won't have to worry about. This is more of a seller issue, but I always advise the sellers that I advise is stay away from some of these products that are more likely to get banned. Okay, so there's a TikTok Shop restricted product policy that I'll probably go over in another video. Let me go through this community guidelines overview. It's a quick sub article that I passed by, and then we'll get back to sensational or shocking content, which is a big one. So what this is, the community guidelines overview. Where violent criminal behavior. Okay, quickly. So essentially, they're just talking about that they can remove content that we do not follow. This is basically them just saying that they have all the power in the world to do whatever they want in their content moderation policy, which is an easy way for us to understand is like they're gods or they're up on the high heavens and they can just dominate us. So we have to obey. It just is the reality of it. And when it comes down, I see these different topics. I'm just going to name them. So youth safety, we talked about that. You want to be very careful with minors. I sometimes say you don't even use a minor unless it's a product that requires a minor to be in the video. Safety and civility related. Okay, you don't want to do anything violent, hate speech, all this. This should be somewhat obvious based on just how these platforms operate these days. Mental and behavioral health. Obviously, stay away from suicide, self-harm, disordered eating, and body images. So this is a really tricky one, right? You want to be careful around these topics. Dangerous activity and challenges. Stay away from these crazy challenges that appear on TikTok, especially if it puts anybody in potential danger. Sensitive and mature themes. Keep it away from sexuality. Keep it away from nudity and body exposure. This you got to be really careful for. But it should be obvious, if you wouldn't be wearing or presenting yourself in a public pool in a certain way, then you don't want to put yourself on TikTok in that same way. Basically, if you wouldn't go to a public pool in the manner you're presenting on TikTok, then don't do it. Don't be sexually suggestive. Nothing shocking or graphic. God forbid, don't put any animal abuse. I mean, good God. Integrity. No misinformation. Civic and election integrity. Just stay away from things that involve the election. Stay away from things that involve, legislation and stuff of that nature. Edited media and AI content. This is where you got to be really careful because AI content is really prevalent today. Just stay away from it. That's my recommendation. Fake engagement. Do not fake any engagement. Okay? Regulated goods. No gambling. No alcohol, tobacco, and drugs. No firearms, dangerous weapons. Okay? Trade of regulated goods. Trade for marketing. Yeah, nothing high risk. Commercial disclosure and paid marketing. They do this usually when they disclose that it's an ad. Frauds and scams, of course, stay away from. Privacy and security, right? This is now a little bit more in their policy. So yeah, let's get back over to the main page. Sensational and shocking content. So basically, here are the topics. No nudity. No sexually explicit language. You can say these things without saying these things. In fact, someone I know who had the Tab sex chocolate brand that was super viral the last few years on TikTok, they were able to get hundreds and hundreds of millions, if not billions of views on TikTok for an aphrodisiac before sex chocolate by following the rules. Okay, there's ways to do it. You just have to be creative and you have to be a better creator. And we all have the capacity to do this, by the way. Violent. Stay away from violence. Nothing dismembered, no burning people or animals. Gore, please. No real world violence, no slaughter, no animal cruelty. This stuff should be really, really obvious, okay? Unoriginal, low quality, and irrelevant content. So this you get hit with a lot, actually. Content is considered unoriginal if the user has not added new or creative edits or to any imported or uploaded media. Imported media includes media uploaded to TikTok Shop that has previously been shared to TikTok and media from other social media platforms or sourcing, including television, movies, or webcasts. An indicator of unoriginal content is a visible watermark or superimposed logo. The following content is prohibited. Content that includes extremely short clips, static images, or still scenes during live streams. Live streams especially, just God forbid, you want to learn to be a good live stream creator, there's a process. Do not try to take shortcuts there. You'll get literally banned for life on TikTok Shop. Content that includes inappropriate use of language. This is a tough one because I do see creators cursing and they're getting away with it on TikTok Shop and having videos that go viral. I always say you slowly build up to the cursing, meaning like you want to just have videos consistently maybe get a little bit worse and worse. Maybe first you'll say frickin', maybe then, 5 videos later you might drop the word crap. You want to do it organically and naturally, but you don't want to just come out of the gate surfing like or cursing like a sailor because you'll get flagged. Exclusively graphic interchange or GIF-based videos. Yeah, no GIFs, right? So here's the thing. If any video has ever been on TikTok, just consider that to be done for. Like, never save that video and re-upload it. Don't even take TikTok videos and put yourself as a green screen over. I think green screen content should only be used for content you find off the platform, especially if it's not in the TikTok format, it's horizontal. You bring it in using CapCut or with the TikTok editor itself in the app, and then you go about your green screen. You want to use original stuff and then even add originality to it. You will be rewarded for doing so. Irrelevant product promotion, right? Don't promote anything that wasn't shown in the video or not mentioned on the landing page. They mean the product listing. Product was not explicitly or completely shown. Yeah, don't do the half showing. I go through a lot of case studies where I talk about how really smart creators in their first second zero, because we always want to optimize for second zero on the For You page, they're showing the product completely, even with their hand tucked behind it. So TikTok, when they're scanning this and doing a series of these screenshots on these videos to analyze your content, it shows the full product, okay? The product displayed in the creator's content does not match. Yeah, always want to have matching one-to-one with the product that's you're leading them to and what you're showing the video. Yeah, never bring them off platform with a 404 error code. Weight management. This is a big one. So I'm going to take a quick sip of water before we get into this final run. Okay. Creators are prohibited from promoting content that contains weight management products as set forth in their prohibited products policy. I believe I have this open in another tab. Yeah. Oh, prohibited products and then restricted products. So we'll go through those at the end. Basically, prohibited weight management content includes, but is not limited to, explicit or implicit claims that a product will cause weight loss, reduce calorie intake, or regulate appetite. There are very creative ways to say each of these, right? Another creative way, I haven't been this size since high school. That's a creative way to talk about weight loss, reduce calorie intake. I do not eat, or what is because I was going to say, I do not eat nearly as much as I used to, but that could get you flagged potentially. I don't battle calories anymore. Calories are now my friend. Maybe even stay away from the term calorie. I'm thinking of this on the top of my head, but there are ways to do that. Or regulate appetite. Yeah, don't even bring up the word appetite. But you could say things like food was my enemy or food is now my friend. There are creative angles for this. Explicit or implicit claims that a product will cause weight gain or muscle gain. This is more for the guys when they're talking about these weight gainers. You don't want to promote any of the stuff that your local guy that's trying to sell you steroids at a gym would tell you, right? You don't want to say things like that. Personal testimonies about weight management products or programs. You'll see this classically just all over the internet. Just stay away from it. It's big red flag. Claims that a product can cure, treat, prevent weight management or things like obesity, anorexia, hyperthyroidism, or hypothyroidism. They said that twice, right? Yeah, if it sounds like a medical term and it's talking about any even terms like obesity or anorexia, I wouldn't even say those words. Do not say those words. You want to always use innuendos. You want to stay away from this medical stuff, especially with weight loss. Explicit or implicit before and after weight loss or weight gain results. This is where I find it much more effective to actually be a person documenting the journey over time, and you let your results, you don't even bring it up. You just let the results speak for themselves. Like, if you're a guy and you're taking a creatine gummy, you could literally promote that same product as a TikTok Shop affiliate creator for 6 months. And your first video would clearly show you, look at this. You don't want to say, look how much weight I gained, but this was me 6 months ago, So these are just creative ways you want to go around this. And over time, you'll also have more likelihood of going viral by producing more content. Promotion of an unhealthy body image or an unhealthy relationship with food. Yeah, so what I said earlier about food was my enemy, now it's my friend. Yeah, you want to be careful there. You don't want to talk about food in maybe such a way that could be considered regulatory in the appetite sense. But there are still ways to do this. There are still ways to get this point across, but without violating any rules. Category specific prohibited content. Cosmetics, big one. Phrases or implications about treating or preventing any disease. Stay away. Phrases or implications that claim, cure, diagnose. Yep, we talked about that. Claims that imply that certain products have pharmacological. We talked about that. Claims can imply that certain products renew, correct. Yep, talked about it. Statements referring to the effect of medicinal products. Yeah, nothing medicinal. All cosmetic goods must be products that are applied to the outer parts of the human body. Additionally, the effects of such cosmetic goods must also be temporary. Yeah. You don't want to get into like these Botox and fillers and things that are injectable. Anything that's internal, injectable, that stuff, like consumable type products, are the most regulated. The most regulated. Okay, and yeah, the you don't want to be talking about permanent changes of physiology. There's so many better ways to come to get the point across in that way to the people that are probably going to buy, or more likely to buy, even if you don't use these kind of inflammatory terms that trigger the algorithm. But stay away from this. Content or statements about cosmetic products may not be misleading and may not violate any requirements specified by regulatory laws and content. Yeah, don't break the law, okay? Food related content must not mislead customers about its characteristics, effects, or properties. Creators are also prohibited from attributing medicinal properties to food. Yeah, exactly. Tying in with all the stuff we said prior, but this time with food. TikTok Shop is restricted to users age 18 and older. Creators aren't allowed to use licensed characteristics in food and drink. Ads targeted at minors. They are also prohibited from featuring sale promotions. Yeah, you don't want to be like promoting a new Kool-Aid type product that's just for kids. Claims that they're always careful around minors. Okay, always remember that. Claims that a nutrient or food promotes overall good health or well-being be sustained with relevant documentation or certification by an authorized health professional. Yeah, like there's just so many better ways. If you're talking about like a protein bar, for example, you could literally make a content about going outside or doing your day-to-day task or work, and you're eating the protein bar throughout the day, and you're talking about how like, wow, this is the first time I actually am looking forward to eating a snack that's fulfilling and makes me, well, you got to be careful with the appetite thing, but this is why I do a lot of content breakdowns, because off the top of my head, it's harder to dissect this, but there are just so many angles to succeed without running into trouble here. Content that states or implies that a type of food, drink, or supplement prevents, treats, or cures diseases. Yes, stay away from these diseases. Policy compliance. Okay, they basically just mean, again, they're able to detect everything, and they're omniscient, omnipresent, and omniscient. All-knowing. Non-compliance. Yeah, if you break their rules, just say goodbye. Don't complain. Don't hate the player, hate the game. Like, just, it is what it is, okay? It is what it is. Over time, I think the creators that stick in here and learn these rules will be rewarded tremendously, especially in 2025, 2026. There's life-changing money here, and this is not the time to be stingy or put your ego too far on the line. It's like they need to protect their platform, because they're having to compete with the Amazons of the world, and they're the new kid on the block, so everything's got to be squeaky clean. Okay, we talked about appeals in the last video a little bit. I'll do a whole video on appeals too, because that's a tough spot for a lot of you creators. If a creator believes that a violation or enforcement action was made in error, they may file an appeal. So yeah, it's through the app ticketing process. They investigate it. If they determine it was an error, they'll correct it, right? I talked about the nature of these appeals and the people that work on them in the last video. Further information at TikTok, we do not allow paid political advertising. Yeah, okay, great. So let's get into some of these other ones and then wrap this up. This was about, we talked about that, auctions. So restricted products, and then prohibited products, and then maybe a little bit of intellectual property. I'll read off these. Okay, what are the restricted products? Again, this is August 14th, so this is very, very new. Okay, beauty and personal care is the first category. Again, this drugs and medicinal claims is so tough, right? You want to avoid this. So, this is about seller documentation. This might not even be for you guys, but let me just talk about these types of products so that these are going to be like the when you have products in these categories, you receive a free sample. These are where you're going to be on watch. They're going to be watching these videos more than usual, so you really got to be in the lines, right? So anything in beauty, personal care, specifically skincare, skincare for the face, lotions, body lotions, hand lotions, intimate deodorants, right? Deodorants that would go on your private areas or underarms even. Non-over-the-counter vaginal cream. I'm not even sure if that's allowed to be sold on TikTok, but definitely be careful with that. Drugs and medicinal claims, right? Sunscreens. There's gonna be, it's a lotion of a type, right? Anti-dandruff shampoo and anti-dandruff treatment, right? We're getting toward those medical claims a little bit there. Anti-cavity toothpaste, such as fluoride toothpaste. Funny enough, one of the biggest products, as we all know, is the mouth rinse Guru Nanda, but I'm almost certain they probably stay away from these fluoride claims just because there's a lot of controversy around fluoride, and also it's as you can see here, it's one of the areas that's going to require documentation. Sun tanning preparation intended to protect against sunburn, kind of like a sunscreen. Antiperspirant deodorants. Wow, I've used some antiperspirant deodorant today, but it's crazy to think that category requires so much proof from the FDA and drug facts, but they want to protect the consumer at the end of the day, so that is what it is. Car fragrance. Wow. Okay, so these are more products we got to be careful of as creators. So hanging cardboard air fresheners. Think about the classic, tiny trees. Is that what they're called? Little trees? The car. Vent clip air fresheners. Another one. I've seen these hanging. They're like, it was really popular last year. It was like $4 too. It's like these little hanging jars that make your car smell good. Gel air fresheners, can air fresheners, spray air fresheners, plug-in air fresheners, oil wick air fresheners, charcoal air fresheners, diffuser air fresheners, bead air fresheners, and paper air fresheners. So these are all things you got to be careful of. I honestly think probably what's safe, if we're talking about fragrance, is a candle. But this is car fragrance, so a candle wouldn't make sense so much in a car. Consumer medical devices. Okay, so this is a big one. So we have class 1 and class 2. So class 1 would be eyewear like sunglasses. So there's 1,000 ways you can actually promote sunglasses in a video that doesn't bring it into the whole medical area. You can talk about the style elements. You can talk about all types of things that just don't have to do with medical claims. Menstrual pads, liners, and protectors, right? This is, again, back to like the intimate product area and medical claims. Be careful with that stuff. Oral care products like dental floss, electric and manual toothbrushes, oral irrigators, water flossers, and teeth whitening devices. So these were really big actually at the end of 2023 and early 2024, like these water picks, whitening kits. You got to be careful with these. There's very creative ways to do it. I'm sure many of you remember actually there was the whitening oral kit, and it was like a nail tech, and she set this fake conversation up with one of her clients, and she was talking about like, wow, I've never seen your teeth this white. You've been coming here for years, and it's so nice. And it was just like a 3-minute informal conversation, totally scripted, and I think she made like $200,000 in commission or something crazy off that video. Okay, class 2. At-home laser hair removal. So yeah, hair removal is a huge category of products. Be careful around them, especially when it talks about hair removal around certain sensitive areas, around the face, menstrual cups. Anything that's going to be internal to the body, you gotta be careful with that stuff. Tampons, again, intimate areas are always going to be kind of a watched category. Okay, electrical and electronic products, electronics with Bluetooth or the Wi-Fi. Okay, so commercial appliances, right? Things in your kitchen, beauty and personal care appliances. Think like hair straighteners and such. Electrical accessories, hand and portable power tools, household appliances. Now you're probably asking, geez, this is every product under the sun. This isn't just like the medical stuff or consumables. Yeah, it's true, and it is strict. So just know, and it doesn't mean that you can't be promoting these categories, guys. This just means that you need to know that going in, if you're requesting free samples or trying to promote these products, know that on the back end, these sellers have to upload a ton of documentation. Make sure the documentation is recent, relevant, not expired. And I even know from the seller side that the work I do with the big brands is they have to constantly fight these violations they're getting even when they're doing everything right. And this is the case even with the biggest brands on TikTok Shop. So you need to know this going in. It's going to put you in an advantage versus creators that aren't aware of all this stuff. So we were here. Okay, so for electronics with Bluetooth, allow all electronic products with wireless capabilities such as Wi-Fi enabled devices. Yeah, like these smart home devices. Think about that. They're going to need FCC safety certification from the U.S. Product FTC board. They're going to need a lot of stuff actually. All electronic products with Bluetooth capability. That's why everything with the Bluetooth has to have this certain certification on the box with the little Bluetooth symbol. Knives and survival kits with knives. So this should just be obvious, right? I know knives and lighters and stuff are a big category, but all these different types of knives, even shovels, manual saws, multi-tools, these are a little bit less strict. You'd be surprised. This is why I think men have some advantage. Women, I think, by and large, have the most advantages when being creators on TikTok Shop for a lot of reasons. But there is some advantages here. Like, think about it. For this, if you're promoting one of these multi-tools, cases, bags, folded knives, all that's needed is just a complete set of images of the pack. What's the product packaging and labeling. And that's it. It's not like some complex process. So these, you got to be careful. You don't want everyone to be talking about violence or killing animals or anything of that nature. But these products, they are going to be watched, but it's a little bit more open here. So that's a win for the male creators out there. Packaged good food and beverage. So yeah, consumables. Oh my God, this is such a tough category. Cross-border. Okay, so things, beverages, non-alcoholic, biscuits, snacks, crisps, chocolates, sweets, dry baking ingredients, pasta, noodles, jam, honey, spreads, oils, vinegar, salad dressing, cereal, muesli. I think that's like granola. So yeah, this is going to again require that FDA and USDA labeling law, following the labeling laws and regulations for principal display panel. Yeah, it's going to require that kind of nutrition guide, I believe. Pet food. So yeah, this is actually a little less strict than human food, funny enough, even though we all love or care about our pets. But animal feed, right? Consumption of food related for any type of pet. Commercial feed prepared and distributed by cats, dogs, birds, fish, and reptiles. A little bit stricter. Not going to be as strict though as human related stuff. So that's a win there if you have a pet and you want to go in that direction. CO2 cylinders, so yeah, like soda makers. So anything that could, with a CO2 cylinder, think about it, that can be like a bomb. Literally things with CO2, if they were punctured or there's fire, like that could be dangerous. So those products you want to be wary of. And I'm not saying like these are banned or anything, but I'm just saying know this going in, because if you're a newer creator or you've been hit with many violations, you want to be in the know of what's actually, like if you're walking through a minefield, where are most of the bombs? And maybe stay away from those categories of products until you start to see success and you're an experienced creator and you know all these kind of ins and outs. Okay, protective hearing devices, right? Formable foam, pre-molded earplugs, canal caps. There's actually a big opportunity for, like, I don't want to disparage anybody. My parents are older and have hearing issues as well. But for older creators to hop in here and actually make their mark with some of these, hearing devices or protective stuff, you just got to know what to say so that you're not making medical claims. But there's a huge opportunity here I see for a lot of creators. Surprise-based products. Yeah, these are the ones where like it's a mystery box. These are actually really hard to sell. There's a lot of stuff you actually have to do as a seller. Like there's a lot of key things they got to do. They can be good. They can be wow factor, but I don't think it's a big, I don't think it's a big category for pull. I recommend staying away from that category generally. Just because it's the whole idea of it being a mystery. Well, guess what? The amount of violations you could receive is also a mystery, and it could be unlimited on some of these products. Category qualification requirements. Children's products, again, back to the minors, be very careful. I know a lot of you have kids. In fact, there's a big brand. It's like a fun kids board game product that's in all the Walmarts and Targets that I'm doing content for and working for now, and it's you got to be tricky because a lot of products are advertised for kids, but there is a way around this. You just have to be creative. Jewelry, watches, accessories, right? So anything with diamond, gold, ruby. Right now, I don't see a lot of people, even selling these types of products because TikTok, there aren't a lot of people on TikTok that are going to buy an $8,000 ring or something. So these invite-only products, so CPR aids and feedback devices. Yeah, I'd say unless you're really experienced as a creator, don't get into these really direct, kind of medical help, life-saving devices. Clips, glasses. Luckily, the solar eclipse isn't so often, so we don't have to worry about doing this, but it makes sense. Could be a fun product to do. I wouldn't worry a whole lot about that. Just be careful with medical claims. Pet supplements, we kind of talked about that. Pet supplements actually have more regulation than just pet food, which is interesting to know. But maybe you'd rather, in this case, as creators, we'd want to steer more towards a pet food than a pet supplement. It'll be harder. You're more likely to get violations if you're talking about, a pet CBD product, right? That's a big, big, tricky product I would stay away from. Pre-owned products, I don't think TikTok Shop's really the place for that, in my humble opinion. You could make content around pre-owned products, like doing garage sales and flips and finding, antiques and stuff. In fact, that could be a good way for you to get your first 5,000 followers if you're a new creator. But I don't think it's a good category for just the upside of a video goes viral. Very few people are going to buy a pre-owned product on TikTok Shop. Okay, then this is all for brands more so. We already covered the appeal process. Okay, here's prohibited products. I want to run through this really quick because these products are just going to be self-explanatory, right? Adult products, things you'd find in a sex shop, they should not be on the app. If you see them on the app, do not request a free sample and make content because they will be banned at some point. Alcohol, tobacco, e-cigarettes. Again, you'll see these, some sellers, because they use AI to automate these sellers and what the products they list, some might get through the cracks. You're like, whoa, that product could go viral because it's so kind of like edgy. Stay away from these because these will get banned, guaranteed over time. Animal related products, protected wildlife, plants. Geez, yeah, I mean, don't buy or advertise living creatures. If you see a fish for sale on TikTok Shop, stay away from that. If they're talking about rare ivory tusks from elephants, stay away from that. Anything, aquatic resources under prohibition, any endangered species, anything related to, toxic or dangerous things from the environment. Yeah, it should be plant varieties that jeopardize production, human well-being. Yeah, just anything that could potentially be toxic, dangerous. Tools and kits for ear cropping, tail docking. Yeah, like these are just controversial stuff. You should think medical controversy, medicines, vaccines, God forbid. Yeah, anything that would be used in a vet office, don't stay away from. Animal grooming supplies such as grooming scissors, deodorant. This is actually interesting that grooming supplies like grooming scissors, deodorizers, and colognes would be prohibited. But if you see these, just avoid it. Medicated animal and pet feed that requires prescription. Yeah, veterinarians, stay away from those products that would be in a veterinary facility or practice. Baby and maternity products. Yeah, if there's a breast pump, if there's maternity vitamins, baby vitamins, beaded teethers. If you see any of these, it's cool, but don't put these on your TikTok Shop. You're just asking to be, once the seller gets caught and found, you're going to be, shut down with them as well. Beauty and personal care. Let's see what these are related to, though. Cosmetics not labeled, retail. Usually, though, if you see beauty and cosmetic stuff, they'll already have all their submitted documentation and will have gotten past this. So, body and mental wellness products. Again, with the weight gain. Again, with the supplements for weight management, fat reduction. Products that explicitly or implicitly glorify suicide or self-harm or eating disorders, indirectly mental forms of suicide or self-injury. Yeah, a lot of this should be self-explanatory. Discriminatory or offensive products, stay away from. Obviously, stay away from drugs and paraphernalia. Stay away from anything with firearms, ammunition, weapons. Even if you see, like potato launchers, replica guns, even like a little gun keychain, just stay away from stuff like that. It's too risky, tear gas, stun guns, military weapons, brass knuckles, nunchucks, foot claws. Stay away from all these products, right? Cat ear keychains, tactical pens, monkey fists. Yeah, no. Nothing for gambling, nothing for gamification. No instant win tickets, no slot machines, no bingo, raffle, sweepstakes. Nothing for nothing for bookmaking, sports forecasting, betting. Again, back to the betting and auctions. No claw machines. Yeah, stay away from that. It's a funny one. Wager, lotteries, roulette. These lucky, oyster opening, anything of the lucky games. Hazardous or dangerous items. Nothing should be hazardous to people's health. Jesus, no body parts or anything with the morgue or caskets, cremations, urns. There are some interesting products like memorabilia products of like you put, I know this product, it goes viral. It's like a scan QR code you put on a gravestone for like a loved one, and it has, when you scan it, like memories and photos and videos of their lifetime. But that has nothing to do with like embalming, right? Or like their urns for cremation, right? Stay away from that. Lock picking, yeah. Anything that could aid you in committing a crime or hacking or skimming, credit card skimmers, master keys, nothing. There should be nothing related to potentially being able to create a crime, even if you're using it to be like a vigilante fighting for the good guys. Nothing medical supplies. We talked about monetary products. Yeah, all these things that you buy a stock, gifts, cash equivalents, counterfeit products, all this stuff. This is like the white collar crime, right? Cryptocurrencies, Ponzi schemes. Stay away from stuff of that nature in that industry, or products related to facilitate that. Nothing official government or military items. Keep this off. TikTok Shop. Safety related products. Yeah, I know a lot of you are going to want to do products that are like for safety stuff, like a safety thing for mountaineering or snow sports or smoke alarms. Or the problem with this stuff is that these could literally save someone's life, and if it's bought on TikTok, and especially if you make a product and you convince someone to buy like a carbon monoxide detector and that person dies because it doesn't work, I mean, think about the liability then on TikTok's hands. Not so good, right? Secondhand products, again, I said stay away from these secondhand products. Security, privacy, kind of related again to like the idea of hacking, stealing, legality stuff. Services and virtual products, yeah, nothing virtual. Anything virtual, crypto, online, certificates, ghostwriting services, anything that can't be touched, or anything related to sex acts, surrogacy, yeah, never should be even talking about stuff like that. Sexual wellness products, stay away from. Unauthenticated Native American related products. This is really interesting. So yeah, if it says Native American made, honestly, I'd probably avoid something like this, just given the fact that it's probably a touchy topic. Unless you own the shop and you're making content for it, you can back it all up, back up your lineage, get a blood test, whatever it is. Stay away from that. Unqualified jewelry products, and I don't mean to say that in the sense to hurt anybody out there that is Native American or has a business for those products. I just mean like they're so strict right now on TikTok that there are going to be people that fall in this category that maybe can't legitimize their claim, and then you'd be swept up as a creator. Yeah, jewelry, again, be careful with anybody that's talking about these wild claims of it being real diamonds and such. Various food products, I always think consumables are kind of a gray area. Vehicles and automated parts, again, this goes back to the safety thing of you buying a product that could potentially hurt someone or cost them their life. Back to minors and humanity. Further information and appeals. Yeah, that's that. And then finally, intellectual property. I kind of touched on this when I talked about not taking content from anywhere else on TikTok and then reposting it. But let's see if there's anything in here that I missed from when I read this yesterday. No counterfeits. Don't infringe on trademarks. Don't infringe on copyright. The real thing you got to worry about here with copyright and trademark is the music. The sounds being used in TikTok. That's a big deal because, if you know the history of the internet and these like services, think of LimeWire or I think there was called like Winter something. It had like a snowflake, and it was for like, who was the guy in the social network that made that Napster? Like these artists, these musicians are gonna come at this stuff with full vengeance. There are artists and musicians that use TikTok as a platform, and they want you to use their songs to like blow them up. But a lot of these like industry, Billboard, professional, signed, label level artists, Beyonce, at that level, Justin Timberlake, it's gonna be. I said Justin Timberlake, he's not even in the Billboard anymore. But these people are gonna definitely not be okay with this, and you're directly monetizing a part of their work, right? You're including their song in a video, and you're making money from the video. No knockoffs. A lot of people go for the Stanley Cups and other, like, they call them dupes. Be careful if you're going to go for a dupe product and you're going to talk about, oh, it's the same as the original one I bought in so-and-so store and it looks so real and it's only a fraction of the price. Listen, you're asking for it. You're asking for an account shutdown or suspension or violation points at the minimum. Don't take these kind of shortcuts because it's a trend or, oh, this dupe is so effective. The seller that did the Stanley dupes, like, they're in like really deep water right now, and anybody that had an account related to that probably either got shut down or suspended or got points. And if you didn't, you're lucky. You're really lucky on that. Patent infringement, yeah, don't talk about anything with patents unless they actually have the patent, and you can look this up. But I just avoid legal terms like that in general. Rights of publicity or personal rights. Let's go back to like using someone's likeness, especially like famous people and whatnot. or athletes, their name, images. Yeah, I would just recommend, like, honestly, just only people should be in your videos are friends or family, people that can vouch for you and be like, yeah, it was like just a video that I'm totally okay with them putting me in. Okay, so here we go back. Now we go to the seller side on reporting infringement and documentation. Okay, we were talking about fee appeals, this, that. Okay, I think that is everything. So this will be my kind of day 2 series video on just everything content, and this is in no means, or by no means is this exhaustive. There are little details in fine print here, and it is a revolving thing, but this is just a really, really good first kind of pass through to know what to avoid in these kind of category levels. And by doing so, you'll save yourself in the long run and in the short run from fighting all these violations and getting restrictions on, oh, now I can't post for 24 hours, or I can't tag something for 72 hours, or oh my god, I have 18 points and my account might be restricted or banned, or my commissions have been cut off. Just avoid all of that, okay, by kind of following and taking heed to this. And all the examples of content in a creative way that are able to kind of not make these claims but get the point across in such a way. I go through this fully in my free school community, where I break all these down and I try to get you to understand that there's a way of doing this. We just have to be a little more creative. So yeah, I hope that this video was very useful for you as a creator, and catch me for the next one, because I'm going to go through more.